What's up, YouTube? Back for another episode of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. We're going to be doing an episode... What are we at? We are at episode 8. It's called Missing Hearts. No idea. Maybe we're going to get an emotional one. But yeah, last week we had a good episode. It was a good example of, going off the beaten path of the main arc and still being interesting, still showing us some good action, and yeah, just kind of like showing more of what Section 9 deals with. I think I even heard at one point there was a Section 1, so I mean, obviously if there's a Section 9, I'm sure they had 8 other sections minimum. So it's I would like to know a little bit about what those other sections are like, and they obviously did mention one of them, and I forgot what it was, what their division was called, really, other than Section 1. But they had, I think it was something to do with, information, something like that, system information. I don't know. I'll have to watch it again. Maybe from years from now, all over again. But okay. So, yeah, we're just going to dive into this one and see what this one's all about. All right. So, I'm going to start her up here in a second. Okay, I'm gonna count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Already hitting us with the music. The feels are here. Man, can you imagine being this far into the future with technology and still dealing with medical things, I mean, I'm sure we're always gonna have it, but I just wonder at what level are we dealing with shit now?
So, what's up?
Well, there's something weird going on. This little girl underwent heart transplant surgery last month. Her parents were overjoyed that she was lucky enough to find a compatible heart. And they apparently asked who the donor was in order to offer their personal thanks to them. But his parents claim they don't recall offering to donate their son's organ. I don't know if this sort of thing is in your jurisdiction, but it's got me worried. Future maintenance and the cost of prosthetics. I think she was really fortunate to find a heart donor.
How old is she?
Well,
Man, that's a lot
it
of...
seems this little girl just turned 6.
That actually talks about a lot of concepts that I didn't even think about when it comes to yeah, why don't you just get a prosthetic body? Everything will be fine. But as she just mentioned, there's going to be costs later on, like getting a new prosthetic body along the way to be whenever you become older, right? So that shit's got to be expensive, right? You're literally paying for a whole new body.
Are you familiar with those mass kidnappings that have been occurring lately in this country that are connected to overseas mafias?
Where they sell their victims' cyberbrain devices and organs on the black market?
The odds are that this case could have ties with domestic black market routes as well. Verification is what I
appreciate the topics that Ghost in a Shell goes over, where it's obviously they're police, so they got to deal with the ugly side of things. So it's this is all really great technology. The future is very interesting, but what happens when these things get into the wrong hands? And that's who they deal with. So it's really interesting.
Hello.
Oh, fuck.
A visit from Iwasaki, the Chief Executive Officer of Meditech.
I'm Togusa from Section 9.
No, this is Mr. Iwasaki, sir. I am his secretary android.
Yes.
Sorry.
Now, don't you fret none, partner. Happens all the time. It's just one of them manly quirks every feller's got, dang it.
Oh my god.
Y'all need something you want me to verify, right? Hey!
This is it. Fine.
He's a box with a little fan.
Okie doke, let's take a gander. Yep, sure shooting. This here's a statement of delivery from us, all right.
Is that his eyeball?
We splice our customers' genes into pigs and grow whatever organs they want. We harvest the organs and deliver them in case there's ever an emergency. Put it plainly, Missy, well, it's a cash cow.
I'm having a hard time not smiling while this character is on screen.
Forcing that lame Texan accent. It can't be real. It's probably just a put-on.
Considering what a gung-ho company guy he is, I bet he sold off his own organs.
Huh. And now he's the man in the can?
This company may be a big enterprise, but their internal data security is a joke.
So it's an outside party. That's what we know. So it may not be internal.
Wait!
Aha.
Are you all right? They beat us to it.
This ought to kill them. Ah. It's wicked.
Relax. We wiped the detective's memory. We should be okay then, right?
But the point right now is, who was that?
Who knows?
That's kind of fucked up.
Who worked with him?
Tachikoma, can you catch up with it?
Like messing with anybody's memories like that, like involuntarily, I think it's kind of fucked up.
I'm gonna send out a probe virus. You'll gauge the echo of it.
What? But that's in violation of the Telecommunications Bureau.
Does it look like I give a fuck? Togusa.
Ready to transmit, Major. Go. I've identified the getaway car. I have an ID on the registrant, too. Like I thought, it looks like the perp is a med student intern.
Nice.
We ought to get out while we can. Let's dump it all.
The only crime we're guilty of is selling some organs cheaply. Besides, even if we were arrested, I'll just call my dad and he'll fix it.
The man at the hospital, he just opened fire on us. What if he's part of that overseas mafia we're hearing about, the one behind all those abductions?
You're in over your heads, bud.
I think we might really be in trouble here.
Mm-hmm.
Bato,
You sure are.
really?
Not only that, I see you. I'm waiting in ambush at the location you designated.
You can spook him, but don't kill him.
Whoa, you mean it? We can actually have some fun for a change?
That'd be cool to fall from that high and not die. Or not break anything. That'd be pretty sweet.
All right, don't hit anything human, Touch.
Just leave it to me!
That was pretty badass.
Let's get out of here! Ooh, they don't give up easy.
Shit.
Hey, so what do you think? Is this dazzling style or not?
Job well done.
We're just blowing their car up, that's all.
Knowing that a bunch of morons like you could be poking around inside of my head someday really disgusts me.
I'd say by the look of things, they've been switching labels of organs left over from cyborg operations because they sell them without consent.
Wasn't there one more?
Oh? Stubborn damn kid, I'll secure him.
No. Let me handle this.
Oh, pretty scary.
Yes.
You guys will answer to me now.
Spare me, please, just don't take my organs.
What? That mug of yours has Yakuza written all over its ugly self.
What the hell is that thing?
There goes all that paint. No way out. I don't think she's gonna like hurt him though. Like, just scare the crap out of him.
Your little game's gone too far. You and your friends have stuck your noses into a world you can't back out of.
Let me go! I'll never do it again! Ever again!
You're damn right.
Can you imagine if she really did kill him?
You're lucky I'm not the Yakuza.
She got a point. Yakuza would have taken them out right then and there.
Just stay put. When we come back, we'll try to pry you out.
Yes, ma'am!
Aw.
It's Mr. Bato!
Hey, big guy. Don't you think the Major was behaving kind of funny today?
Huh?
Well, it seemed...
Huh?
You know, she went full cyborg around the same age as that girl who had the transplant. This case probably dredged up a lot of unpleasant memories.
There's a little girl out there who fate dealt a rotten hand and was forced to have a heart transplant. Then there's the CEO who wanted to be a cyborg so badly he got rid of his body parts.
Checkmate!
What? But that's a totally different game.
What are you fellas up to? Bato, not more weight training.
It's an interesting ecosystem of
Blowing your pay is one thing, but you're wasting
people
your
that have no
money on
choice
stuff
but to be
like this.
cyberized, and other people that want to be cyberized. And
Macho, why don't you stop trying to look female on the outside and switch over to a male chassis already? You'll be stronger and have more authority.
So long as you can turn an
Oh my
opponent's
God.
overamped aggression against him, the female model is just fine.
she hacked his arm.
You okay there, big guy?
Didn't feel a thing.
I would have liked to have seen an actual fight, though, to be honest. But that was funny. Huh, can we fake that? No, not very well. But... Okay. That wasn't necessarily as action packed, but that's okay. It still kind of like sheds light onto it, like a different aspect of life during that time. And yeah, they brought us some interesting ideas of you know, between people that do end up losing their body, you know, the natural way, and then those that kind of choose to not have a natural body. Like, what do you do with the rest of those parts? Of course, you're gonna, you know, capitalize. You know, our system is gonna have that capitalist system, and then, you know, make that into a business. And then while it like helps people and whatnot, they're gonna charge them for whatever for each part, you know, for each body part and stuff like that. So that has to be kind of like not like a dodgy industry, but just, you know, because I mean the health industry is a business too, and doctors need to get paid and nurses need to get paid and all that. They do need to make their money, but it's like, you know, I just wonder what sort of like healthcare system a society like that would have at that point, you know. Obviously they were talking about costs for paying for, you know, a new prosthetic body as you grow up, and how difficult that's supposed to be, or just the general idea that it is difficult to have maintenance and things like that. So while you do, when you go full prosthetic, even though you do like miss out on a lot of different illnesses that you could be susceptible to, you open the door towards new problems, like, you know, machines, you know, when they're used all the time, they end up breaking down at some point, and you got to replace parts, and parts cost money. And, you know, I just wonder what sort of healthcare system is behind all of that, because it's like, now you're talking about machine parts, you know, and considering that healthcare, you know, or do they consider it healthcare? I imagine so, since it has to do with the quality of life of someone who's alive, who has a ghost. And you know, on that subject, I think having a ghost is basically kind of like having a soul, like a human soul. That's what I always perceived it as, because I don't think Ghost in a Shell has ever like just straight up said like what a ghost is necessarily. They just kind of like describe like what it does, I guess, in a way, but I don't know if they've ever said like what it is. But to me, it's always been like a human soul, essentially. So when they're like, yeah, my ghost is, I think the Major said, yeah, my ghost is whispering to me, and I think she's saying like that's like her soul, or her, you know, it could also be considered like a gut instinct of like something is talking to her, like, even though she's just a machine at this point with, you know, data as memory, or maybe she has that cyber brain that's maybe like an organic part, maybe that could be considered an inorganic part. But she's basically a machine at this point with just, you know, electrical impulses and whatnot. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little existential here, but yeah, essentially, you know, for someone who exists like that to then have a soul or whatnot, I guess you would call it a ghost at this point. And then she's saying, yeah, I'm feeling something that I can't explain. It's just a feeling I have, you know, deep down. Like, even though you know, now I'm just a completely different composition and whatnot. So, and it's not the same as just, you know, being a human and just having a gut feeling, or just, you know, on that sense, you know. So it's a whole, it's a different plane of existence, I'd imagine. So, so that's really interesting that it kind of, you know, opens up the door to all that conversation. And I guess that's really what the great thing is about Ghost in the Shell in general, is that it opens up all this stuff. And it's like, it's not just about being in the future and being an android and, you know, whatever. It's, you know, what are the implications of going that route, you know, whether it be only going into it halfway and only you're being half cyberized, or you're going all the way with it and being fully cyberized. There's two different conversations you can have with that too. So it's pretty fun to kind of like dive into and talk about. But yeah, anyway, another cool episode. Just more deep diving into, you know, world building and whatnot, and philosophy and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Again, I got Patreon going on, so you can check that out for full reactions and things like that. Otherwise, you know, just liking and subscribing here, just watching, all that stuff helps me out. It's really great. I hope to someday really expand the channel and be able to do either more TV shows or maybe just more episodes per week, you know, however it plans out. So any time that you give is really appreciated. So thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.